Hi, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Deanne, and welcome to Power English for Foreign Execs. Nice to see you here. And for those of you who have been with me for a while, welcome back. And for any new members or new subscribers, welcome. I see that since the last time that I met with you, I have some new subscribers. So thank you for joining me on this wonderful journey of enhancing your power English skills as a foreign exec. As you know, this channel is catered to you and to your interest in increasing your abilities to be able to navigate in the American workplace. So as you can see by today's title, the cultural nuances of uh, wealthy versus poor. I wanted to give initially some examples, some descriptors of other words to use for wealth and other words to use for poor. But then it became so intricate that I said, each descriptors or each area of rich and poor needs its own video. So here I am doing the wealthy one. So within the context, wanted to talk about, and I do have my notes here, wanted to talk about uh, rich versus wealthy. And I have to make that distinction, and I want to share that with you first before I go into the different levels of wealth in the United States, and then go into the 10 descriptors that I have for the word wealth. So, rich versus poor. Um, the way that I define it is that rich is associated with having a high income, living a very luxurious lifestyle. However, that particular lifestyle may not be sustainable in the event of economic downturns or loss of income or being fired. The way that I define the word wealth or wealthy has to do with having long term ideas of how you combine your assets so that despite economic downturns and all of that, you are still able to earn passive income, income where you are not working every day to make the money. Passive means that the income that you are earning is based on your assets, your portfolios. It um, helps sustain you long term for you to gain financial security and financial independence. Rich to me means that, if someone wins the lottery, for example, uh, of multi-million dollar lottery, they're rich. They are rich. But how many of them are able to sustain that level of wealth to become wealthy long term? That's the difference for me. So, rich versus wealthy. Um, and also, another thing, too, I wanted to share with you is that someone can be rich poor, or what we would say cash poor. They may have inherited wealth, or they may have earned on their own vast amounts of wealth, but they've invested so heavily into their assets, they hardly have cash to maintain that lifestyle. So they're surroundings may be very opulent, but they cannot pay their electricity bill. But nobody knows that because of their neighborhood or something like. So you can be cash poor. That wasn't going to be one of the definitions, but I'll include that. I will include that here. Now, levels of wealth, and I just wanted to outline them for you. And these are classifications, and you define wealth maybe differently than the way I define wealth. Wealth can be relative in one neighborhood or in one region or indeed one country can define wealth very, very differently than I would or how Americans would define that. Okay. But let me just give a very quick overview of levels of wealth. Now, let me start at the bottom and then work my way up. Okay. So at the bottom is poverty. Now, I just didn't know that there was anything below poverty, but it was, I think, in year 2000 when the United Nations had its, I think, 15-year millennium goals, that one of their goals was to eradicate extreme poverty, extreme poverty. So that's barely subsistence level, living on, I don't know, uh, pennies, not a day, not pennies a day, but perhaps pennies a week or month. That would be extreme poverty. Uh, then you'd have poverty where you are at a subsistence level, but all your basic needs are still not being met, especially with healthcare, for example. Then on top, then the next level up would be the working class, where you have your basic needs met, but there's no monies or funds left over for savings. So it's not that, oh, on the weekends, we can go to the movies or go to a restaurant, even if it's a basic restaurant. It's just there are no savings. And that's usually related to the service company, service workers or laborers, usually that is. Then after the working class, then you have the middle class. The middle class would have their basic needs met, have monies for savings, um, have monies for savings, some assets, uh, education. Then you have the upper middle class. The upper middle class certainly will have opportunities for higher quality of education, definitely will have a portfolio of assets. Then you have the wealthy or the affluent class. Wealthy or affluent class would certainly have a lot more. They also would have, let me see, they also would have would allow them, they would enjoy a higher standard of living and they can afford luxury goods and services and they would travel extensively and have significant investments. Then you have the ultra wealthy, or you would call them also the high net worth, high net worth individuals. And they're the ones that would have uh, extremely high levels of wealth, and they have significant influence and power just by the fact of their financial resources. And they also would have diversified portfolio of assets like real estate, stocks, bonds, and other investments. Then you'd have the next level would be the billionaires and beyond, and they would be the top 1%. They'd be the top 1% of the population in terms of wealth, and those individuals have a global impact. They may own large corporations or multiple properties and various high value assets. Now, when we speak about them in social settings, we use these terms, especially starting from working class and above, but maybe not the billionaires, but in between the working class and then the wealthy, affluent classes. Um, we use those descriptions interchangeably because, as I said, each country would define those levels very differently. But that's just really an overview that I wanted to give you. So let me talk now about these power words, and I've used some of them already in this conversation or in this presentation. So let me see the first one. High net worth individuals. So you could say that you work with, or you have your market, your target market is to work with high net worth individuals. Um, as to how your company is targeting itself, or you work with uh, high net worth individuals as your clientele. The next one, you could also have a wealthy clientele that you may say, I have a who is your market? And you say, well, I have a wealthy clientele with an average portfolio between 5 million and $10 million US currency. That's how you would phrase it. Affluent, Affluent, affluent. I like that word. It just rolls off the tongue. Um, Someone could live in an affluent community or an affluent neighborhood with an average income or with an average portfolio of 20 million. I'm being very modest here. It could be more, but I'll just say 20 million. The next one, well-to-do, and they're hyphenated. WELL hyphen TO hyphen DO, well-to-do. She's from a well-to-do family. They are a well-to-do family. Mr. Jones's family is very well-to-do. They're doing well, doing very well. The next one is well-heeled. Well-heeled. So that's hyphenated also, WELL hyphen HEELED. Heel, like the heel of your shoe. I guess it may come from, the origin of that may come from the fact that if you're well-heeled, you're no longer walking to work, but you're being driven to work in a limousine maybe, or you just don't do walking for walking purposes. You may do that just for the purpose of just having the fun of walking. So they're well-heeled. And that really means having very, maybe not luxury, well, I guess it could be luxurious, but just having financial comfort. Financial comfort. That may be upper middle class and above. Okay, financial comfort. And by the way, if you are enjoying this, please let me know. I invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. And when you subscribe, hit the notification button so that you could be aware when the next video is coming up. I'd also like you to click the like button and also comment. Tell me if you like what you're hearing now, or you want to recommend new topics that you'd like me to talk about. I really would love to hear from you. And your comments and your clicking the like button helps the algorithm for YouTube. But I would also like to know what your ideas and I really would like to know what your ideas are. So, and also, if you are interested in one-on-one meeting with me to help you navigate through the American workplace, or if you need to know how to address challenges that you face in the American workplace, I'd be glad to talk with you and to send you information. Just look for my contact information below in the description box, okay? Let's go on. The next one, Posh, Posh. Posh. You can't, when you say that, you go like posh. It sounds kind of British, I think. But it just simply means an elegant or fashionable lifestyle. That's that rich thing I was talking about earlier. Or, you know, she or he could have posh friends, or they live in a posh neighborhood, or they live in a posh apartment building in Manhattan in New York City. The next one, opulent, 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 very wealthy, opulent surroundings. They live in opulent surroundings. Their wedding was held in opulent surroundings overlooking the castle in Italy. Okay, that's where the wedding took place. The next one is moneyed, very sophisticated word, moneyed, Moneyed, moneyed. So they are fortunate to come from a moneyed family, or she was born into a moneyed family, great wealth. Um, so that's one of those that I like because they lived a life of opulence and privilege. Or the moneyed elite, the moneyed elite of the city attended the mayor's gala fundraiser. The next one, prosperous. Prosperity, prosperous. Prosperity is the noun, prosperous is the adjective. A prosperous, um, he came from a prosperous family, or for many years, we lived next to a very prosperous family. It's used for middle class to upper middle class, usually. And then the next one is an idiom. And this is, I like it, this idiom. It's living large. He is living large since he won the lottery last year. Now, living large, I associate it with being rich, not being wealthy. Since the person won the lottery, how many of those that we read about in the news have been able to maintain wealth after winning so many millions of dollars, you know, 100 million, $200 million. That's a lot of money not to be maintain or sustain wealth, because some people just go through that money like it's water. But anyway, that's it. So we have high net worth, wealthy, affluent, well-to-do, well-heeled, posh, opulent, moneyed, prosperous, living large. And that's it. I'm so glad you stayed with me until the end. So Now you know the distinction and the nuances between rich and wealthy. You know some power words to use and power words that you will hear that you can contribute in a conversation, be it at work or socially. I hope that these will help you. Let me know if you've been able to use them after this presentation. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.